Hello, Jim Howard here. Let's see. I didn't get much sleep last night. I did walk about half a block from here to a Taco Casa, and I made it there and I made it back, and been under a lot of stress. The whole family has. My son is having a lot of emotional issues, and it's really difficult on all of us. Unbelievably difficult. This great cell phone I think it's too smart, for me. I guess I should devote more time to all of the features. It just, I really wish there was some way that I could return this to my daughter, grown daughter, and that I could then purchase a Motorola G stylus, the new one, the 2023 version, because I never had the kind of problems that I'm having with this. I know I'm just being stupid or something. I looked down, I think it was yesterday or whatever, I needed to do something, and the camera icon wasn't there. It had been replaced by a couple other items, but it didn't walk there on the main page at the bottom. I'm doing something wrong. I don't know if it's sitting around. Yeah, it is right over there. Let me show it to you. I bought this, I don't know how many, whenever Galaxy Note 5. I bought it because I was, thinking about getting it. I don't think I went through the book very well. Maybe going through and kind of looking at it. Probably, it's a good book, but maybe I should just study the heck out of this, the Note 5, what they have up to, the Note 5. Because I think it's in the basic stuff that I'm messing up. What else is going on? I'm tempted to mess with this, but you've all, I think, well, not all of you, but this seems to be working. I'm looking at the, I can show it to you here. If you look over here, the microphone seems to be responding, and so I'm thinking that it's in sync, with, I just don't like working. I would like working better with a second monitor, so that the Manicam thing that you're looking at, let me show it to you again. So this would be over on the other monitor, and I would not have to worry about that monitor getting involved. And then I could have this, and then I could have other. I still can, don't get me wrong. But I'm trying to tell myself, if this is working, and it appears to be maybe working, don't mess it up, Jim. By the way, if any of you, when you're watching a video, if you see, even an old video, if you see one and you think, Jim, that's not worthy of a YouTuber, that's not worthy of you, and really you ought to delete it, just let me know. I'm not 100% sure I'll delete it. Depends on who you are. It depends on a lot of things, If you're one of the right-wing people, I'd be kind of afraid you just go through and find anything where I mention, how stupid Trump is and say, oh, that's not a good video, and then so I would delete it or something, which is kind of foolish on your part. So, man, and today I had stuff going on. There's a young kid here in the apartment complex, and he's into computers and stuff, and other things, and I've given him some stuff. And then today he came and he caught me when I was walking down to the taco place, and I got confused. I thought he was saying that, I asked him, I said, how's the computer that I gave you working? And he said, well, it's not working, it's broke. And then he said that he needed a keyboard and a monitor. And I said, well, I got plenty of keyboards, I got plenty of monitors. I said, that's all you need? And I think he said yes. And so then, I dug the monitor out of the closet, got the cables and that kind of stuff, and then I was outside, there with him, and then he said, no, it's the computer is broke, because I was telling him, no, you just plug, at that point I was saying, you just plug the HDMI cable, there's no place to plug it in, because he was talking about the keyboard and the monitor and that type of stuff. And so then I figured out that his computer was dead, the one I gave him, a Chrome box. And so anyway, he said he must be like 9, I'm guessing. I'm thinking 9 years, maybe he's 10 years old. And then he said that he had a 30-page book that he wrote that he wanted to publish, and he wants to print it down, and that type of stuff. And turns out that he didn't, that the Chrome box that I gave him, and that's what he wanted back then. He was really happy when he got it, because at school they use Chromebooks, but they're not allowed to take them home, and so that way they gave him one at home, a Chrome box at home. So anyway, and he said, well, I really need a camera. Do you have any cameras? And I said, yes, I do. After he returned the monitor and the stuff, which the monitor I've been trying to get away with. It's a smaller monitor, but a nice one, LG. And I've tried to give it away to a bunch of people, and nobody wants it. It's not that small, but, too small for us around here. But, so anyway, he said, well, he needed a camera, and I said, well, I have some, but, and of course I have a bunch that, plug in to the computer, but he was talking about a digital camera, and I have at this point, well, I had 2, and both of them are expensive and nice cameras, and so now I've given him my the little tiny one, the one that I've told you many times in here what a great camera. Of course, I never use it, and anyway, he's got it now. It's it's his. I gave it to him, but it's going to be dropped or something rather. This is a nice Another thing Hillary gave me. Yeti. They come in different, different sizes and that kind of thing. I just tried to go, but Darlene was in her wheelchair in the way and I couldn't get to the ice. But, I put the ice in here and then pour the Coke in, so the ice melts a little bit. It gives me some water that I don't, I'm going to wait for the ice. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to stop. I think maybe she's moved. And so I'm going to press the, don't touch the mouse. Just going to pause here. And I'll come back. Okay, I'm back. I got the ice. Now the Coke, came out of my little refrigerator, so it's cold. But putting it in here, the ice starts melting a little bit. But that's good because I don't actually drink water, except ice melts, so I have water and Coke, which I think I probably would not be in as everybody told me. You had, everybody, you're supposed to be hydrated. All the medicines and everything is, they don't think they're, I don't think any of the medical people realize, maybe I'm the only one who, isn't hydrated. Although, like when I went in the hospital for 6 days for the infected leg, right away they said, oh, you're dehydrated. So they started, an IV on me. And after 6 days of having a constant IV, I was still not hydrated. I can't be hydrated, probably. My system is probably not recognizing water. Probably decides it's, hey, what is it? Sapping my vital fluids. Wait, what movie was that from? I haven't got in yet to see the doctors I need to see. Darlene, she went the other day to have lab work done, and now I think she's going again to have lab work done. I think. And then she'll probably be going again for something. Now, she said, well, she had to go, I'm not sure if it's just coming up tomorrow or whatever, but, and I said, when I have lab work done, all of my doctors, they have access to it. They don't have to draw separate blood for the other doctor's office or whatever. You just draw blood and then it goes into the computer and it's all all there. But I don't know. Anyway, I just recently got signed up for the MITS. They don't call it MITS anymore, but for the service that Fort Worth offers. Now, I've never used it, but Darlene has been using it for, years. And you have to pay, I forget what amount it is. You pay, for them picking you up and taking you, and then you have to tell them that's kind of a problem. Especially going to the doctor's office or something. You have to tell them when you want to be picked up. And, if the doctor's late or something, but anyway, so you pay, and it would be cheaper taking the bus. She's in a wheelchair, and it should be difficult on a regular bus. Now they do have the ramps that come down and all that, but this other way is better, and they drive and pick you up. You do pay more than you would pay riding a regular bus. And they'll take you in. It doesn't have to be picking you up at home and taking you to a doctor's office or taking you to have lab work done or something like that. It can be they could pick you up and take you to a shopping mall, or they could pick you up and take you. In fact, And I had to do it when my son was in the hospital for about 3 months. Before that, Darlene and my son James, he would go with her. And she would get at Walmart 3 or 4 carts full of food. And the med service would, they would, I don't think they really helped her, he would have to load it on the thing. And now she's getting everything delivered, by Walmart. But they were really good about that. And when my son was in the hospital for 3 months, I had to go, I had to go with her then. And she's kind of she hates it when I say it, and I say it sometimes and I get mad at her, control freak or whatever. So when I go to the grocery store with her, I'm pushing 1 cart, then 2 carts, then 3 carts, then 4 carts, together. And I'm trying to stay out of people's way and everything. And then she would be like, she wants burritos or something, whatever. And I'd be there, and I'd say, well, which one do you want or whatever? And she, no, you need to move, so she could pick it out. Stuff like that. I was glad when he got out of the hospital that time. If you read between the lines, if you follow my blogs, and I'm talking about not just 2005 or whatever when YouTube started. I was blogging before that. I was online 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, running my own computer and not through some service and all types of stuff. And then I had WordPress. I was one of the charter subscribers to LiveJournal, and what was the other one? I can't forget. All these things. None of my family wants to, and I don't blame them. None of my family wants to be written about or be in my videos or anything like that. If you've read my material over the years or whatever, you probably have a pretty good idea what's going on. Don't have to be too smart to figure it out. And also you can tell by my, I wouldn't call it politics, I'd call it common sense or whatever, but you can know, my sympathies for left-wing causes, like people who are homeless or people who have, psychological or mental problems, stuff like that. My sympathies in, those regards. So that kind of tells you where I'm coming from. But it also tells you, that, I don't really want to get into discussions of them. I don't think that's fair. To get in discussions, and sometimes it does come out, but to get in discussions of people or whatever. My kids, I have 4, they're all grown, and they grew up on cameras. I was interested when I was in grade school. I had a Leica, a used one, an old one, was my first camera and stuff. And then I loved the twin lens reflex cameras, so I loved those. Anyway, was into, photography or whatever, and my oldest, LaDonna, whatever, she would get a camera from me, state of the art, and then the next one in line would get one, the next one in line, then by the time they're all grown now, and they don't need me to, give them, cameras and stuff like that. I give them maybe some other stuff, some computer stuff, but I think they're on their own in that regard too. But I've I explained to my kids, and my oldest, LaDonna, she was doing, because I was doing a bulletin board system back then, like 1982 or whatever. and of course she set up one, and then other people that knew me, a Kansas City, Missouri police officer, and a local police dispatcher and a police officer locally, and they all ended up getting it, and other people getting into it because of me. But my kids, they don't want to have any. They don't want me talking about them, and I don't want to talk about it. I don't think that's fair. But I also have explained to them, I'm not. Well, of course, my oldest daughter, I got kicked off Facebook. I have no idea why I got kicked off Facebook. I didn't post to it except automatically. When I made a video here, it automatically, went to Facebook and went to Twitter or something. I had nothing to do, and I set up my system to do that. And now my oldest daughter, she used Facebook, and still probably using Facebook for, showing her yard and her dog and all that kind of stuff. But and I did check those out, when they got a new dog and all this kind of and stuff. But anyway, I told my kids, I'm not reading what you post, the stuff that you post. I don't want to read it. I don't want to know, because I'm going to worry about something, and I really don't want them reading my material. But then I'm still careful. Try to be careful about what I say. So I hope when I upload this video that it's going to be, and I really would like to add up, and I've gone through this before. You've seen me go through this before. 2 monitors, 1 monitor, 2 monitors, high resolution, low resolution, all this kind of stuff. Maybe I should add this as, if I say something and you have a question or something about something I maybe have said that you're kind of curious about, depending on what it is, but don't leave a message and, a comment. Don't leave a comment about, something that's a family member, like how is so-and-so doing, or, if it's a family member or something like that, don't do it. You want to send me a private message, that's fine, but don't do it in public. Partially, if you notice my comment section and everything, it's extremely rare. I mean, I'm talking about for years, and before, YouTube and before all the rest of them, and I can't remember them, I really don't have people that attack me very often. That is extremely rare, and that's just because I've been a nice guy. I didn't do what, back in the old days of bulletin board systems or whatever. If you were running, which I didn't, I ran, Radio Shack computers and Commodore 64 computers and stuff like that, for years doing this kind of stuff. But back then, there was a whole bunch, like if you had a Radio Shack computer and you logged into an Apple bulletin board system, they were running Apple, whatever, they would kick you off. They do all kinds of stuff. And back in the long time ago, when computers, if you can watch, if you want to hear about it, watch BBS the documentary. Watch that, and you'll get an idea. Two, if you want to see the entire interviews, everybody's interviewed, like 250 people. Well, of course, in BBS the documentary, the guy who invented the first bulletin board system, the Chicago, whatever it was called, he has a bunch of space. The people who invented FidoNet, the people who, I was part of all those things, but I wasn't, smart enough to be all those things. But I never engaged in this warfare against anybody. And then I think even today, if you took all of the people since, say, 1982, actually before, well, no, I guess then started 82, I probably have banned less than 10 people in all those, years, where other people were banning people like crazy and all kinds of stuff. And I never got into that. And I never got into the attacking of somebody, and, so, and then too, when somebody does leave something, you're bald-headed, or you're ugly, or you're old, or whatever it is, I don't respond. I did respond the other day that was the first time. Back a few videos ago, I ran a information thing about the raccoon guy in Canada. I was a fan. I'm still a fan, but I don't go all the time now because it's kind of repetitive. But, so I was a fan. Darlene was a fan. My son, James, was a fan. And so I posted, when I saw that he was having medical problems, I posted a thing. I didn't copy any of his material. There's a link there to go to his site, and because I talked about him. And I didn't hardly talk about him, just told what the thing was. And I did, for some reason, I don't know why, I got like 5, 6, 7 people left a comment saying, how dare you say those things about, why are you posting things about him? That's none of your business. He has his site. And I thought, so I finally did say something to somebody, and I even told Darlene, I happened to mention that to her, I got somebody that, said the following about me. And I said, I don't understand. I said, I answered back on a couple of sentences or whatever, and I told her what I said, and she said, and she's not my biggest fan, by the way. Even she said, well, that's not like you to do that. And I said, I know. I don't know why. I said, it just set me off the wrong way. But anyway, I hope this video, I think it is going to be. I see the microphone responding. I don't know. God, I don't want to mess this thing up if it's working. Adding the extra monitor should not be a problem. But I don't want to have to mess with this thing, again. Man, the cell phone, it drives me crazy. I think there's just way, and I haven't even used, it's a stylus. I haven't even used any of those. In fact, I click the thing so it doesn't show right up, when you start your thing, then at the edge there's a little thing, you click on it, and then you have these things and you can post, you can write, you can draw, all that kind of stuff. I haven't even got into that yet. So, but anyway, I'm not sure I finished it. Don't ask, questions about maybe what's going on behind the scenes. I mean, I do all this myself, so there's nobody else helping me still, but what's going on behind the scenes. Don't ask a question, please, in public. Don't leave a comment below. Just if you want to, just, send a, show me blog at Jim Howard, or let's see, show me blog at, let's see, google.com or something. Whatever. And, I'll answer you. So, thank you very much for watching, and I hope that this video is going to be in sync. And I really wish from time to time that I had just deleted, but God, I make a video and then I hate to, delete it. And two, I don't have a script. So if I say something, you may never hear it again, or you may hear it a dozen times. I know a whole bunch of these things I've talked about many, many times. Anyway, thank you very much for watching.